the theocratic extremist Supreme Court having eliminated reproductive rights in this country, the Democratic-controlled White House is facing some pressure to actually do something. I know, what a crazy idea. Let's do something. Now, some of the ideas presented, is basically calling on the Biden administration to use federal power, okay, to use this power to protect people's rights in the states that have already banned abortion. So some of the ideas, one of them came from Senators Elizabeth Warren, and others came from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and they have suggested things like using federal land to provide access to abortion in these red states where it is now outlawed. So now, Warren told the Washington Post, quote, "They can put up tents, have trained personnel, be there to help people who need it. It's time to declare a medical emergency." And during a Friday rally in New York City, Ocasio-Cortez urged the Biden administration to, again, open abortion clinics on federal land in red states. They could do it on military bases, for example, an effort that would involve using the Defense Department and Veterans Affairs facilities. So this is one way that they could guarantee abortion and not run afoul of some of these state bans. And that's just several of the baby steps they're urging the administration to take as, again, the babiest of all baby steps in AOC's words. She also suggested things like that maybe we should try to restrain judicial review. We should pack the court. We should expand education and access to Plan C. Repeal the Hyde Amendment. Hold floor votes codified in Griswold, Obergefell, Lawrence, Loving, etc. And vote on another bill that protects these clinics that are left. Now, there's another idea that doesn't get talked about, and this is to do maybe a women's strike. I mean, look, if all you pro-choice women organize a day to walk off the job, to not participate in this economy, grind it to a halt, well, you know, that might get some people's attention. You know. Because again, a lot of the people in power really only care so much about their stocks. You know, the stock market, their investment portfolios. If you disrupt that, who knows? They might actually try to do something. But no, those are just some ideas on how we fight back and protect women's rights, and as well as, of course, the rights of trans people, the rights of anyone with a uterus who is affected by this. So now, I want to show you here what the administration plans to do. Vice President Harris recently was interviewed. Let's take a look.
I think that what is most important right now is that we ensure that the restrictions that the states are trying to put up that would prohibit a woman from exercising what we still maintain is her right, that we do everything we can to empower women to not only seek but to receive the care where it is available.
Is federal land one of those options?
I mean, it's not right now what we are discussing, but I will say that when I think about what is happening in terms of the states, we have to also recognize, Dana, that we are 130 odd days away from an election, which is going to include Senate races, right? Part of the issue here is that the court has acted, now Congress needs to act. But if you count the votes, don't appear to have the votes in the Senate. Well, there's an election happening in 130 odd days. I'm taking, for example, thinking of a Senate race in Georgia or North Carolina. There's the Senate race coming up just in a couple weeks in Colorado. And we need to change the balance and have pro-choice legislators who have the power to make decisions about whether this constitutional right will be in law, right? We say codified, put it in law so that there will be no ambiguity about it.
So basically, vote harder. Oh, okay, that's the plan. Again, outside of medication being more accessible, which great, that's a good thing. Please do so. By the way, that's a half measure. It should have always been accessible. But the plan is just vote harder in the election. Look, I'm not saying don't vote, obviously, of course, right? But that's not a plan. It's not a real plan. That's putting it all on us. How is it that we, the American people, actually have to do all the work while those in power seem to not be doing any of the work? You see, we turn out, we vote you into power, we fundraise, we donate, we, go out there and we campaign for you, knock on doors, and you get into power, and then you tell us, hey, there's nothing we can do. Look, it's the mansion, it's cinema, it's the parliamentarian, it's the court. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can ignore the court. Yeah, it's probably not legal. Sure. But look, at this point, I'm pretty sure the court has proven itself to be illegitimate and politically motivated. So, I mean, one seat was stolen because Republicans refused to even give it a hearing. That's Merrick Garland's seat, citing, of course, the election, and then replaced a justice who died closer to another presidential election. Oh, weird. Now, again, I know this is a radical idea, but remember, when it comes to the right wing, they don't even follow their own rules. So, I'm just saying, not only that, but you also had 3 justices that lied under oath to get on the court in the first place. Those are the justices that made this decision. So I guess, you know what? If they're going to lie to get on the court, then we might as well just ignore their ruling. Again, they don't care about precedent. They don't care about rules. They don't care about norms. They don't care about anything. They are absolutely hypocritical in this. And so what do you do when the other side does not value rule of law, but then uses the left's adherence to civility and normality to usurp the law? How do you fight that? How do you fight within the confines of a system that they don't even believe in? Because it's clear that they don't believe in the Constitution. What they are serving is something else, and that something else is their fundamentalist religion. Their interpretation of religion. Understand that that comes first to them. It is up here. The rule of law and the Constitution are down here. They will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, they will be hypocrites. As long as they are serving their God, they are fundamentalists. And they are running the country. That is deeply, deeply un-American, and their theocratic fascism needs to be stamped out. And I guess if we need to do a few things that they consider to be radical in order to restore the rule of law in this country, then I guess that's what we need to do. Now, so far, unfortunately, we're not going to go in that direction in the White House. No, not with this White House, because as Biden had put it, nothing will fundamentally change. No packing of the court. Oh, Republicans will do it. Well, then when we get into power, we'll pack it even more. We'll keep packing and packing. Because that's what we have to do to protect people. Understand that there are people that care more about civility, that are caring, more about process than actually doing the right thing, protecting people's rights. They're sitting there saying, oh, we care more about the filibuster because, Republicans might use it against us later, that we're just going to allow women to be stripped of their rights, that we're going to allow religion to take over. There's another Supreme Court, actually 2 recent Supreme Court rulings, one today, that continue to further break down the separation of church and state. Lauren Boebert saying, yes, we should have, religion that is running the government. This is a theocratic fascist takeover, and people are not taking this seriously and are not doing what is necessary to protect our country, to protect our Constitution and our way of life. It is the weakness that bothers me. And so understand who we are fighting, okay? Understand who we're fighting. And understand people who say they're going to fight for us, they're fundraising. And the reason they haven't done anything is because they are fundraising. Well, what good is that going to do when democracy is dead and the fascists have taken over and are systemically gutting your rights one by one? The right wing wants gay and trans people dead. That's what they want. They want evangelical Christianity as the official government religion. They don't want women to have equal rights. They don't want black and brown people to have any rights. And yet the stakes have never been higher. But here we have Joe Biden, who is failing to meet the moment. And Vice President Harris is somehow even weaker when it's her rights specifically as a woman and a person of color that are under assault. In fact, the response to this, after Harris's interview aired, an unnamed White House official then talked to Insider and said that while this federal lands proposal is well-intentioned, it could put women and providers at risk. They're already at risk. They're already at risk. In those states that have banned abortion already, that had the trigger laws that are working, I mean, they're already at risk. And then they added, and more importantly, in states where abortion is now illegal, women and providers who are not federal employees could potentially be prosecuted. Well, then you know what? Why not have Merrick Garland and the Justice Department come in to defend them? Besides, as Vox's Li Zhu explains, because federal lands are not subject to state civil laws, and there's room to interpret, criminal laws, clinics could theoretically establish themselves on places like military bases without having to deal with state bans. And Zhao cites Kiara Bridges of UC Berkeley Center on Reproductive Rights and Justice, who said last month that even though the land is inside the border of a state, it would not be governed by the laws of the state. There's your justification. There it is. It's right there. Hey, this is federal land. What are you going to do? This belongs to us. And we believe that you should have the right to an abortion. Are they going to do so? No. Because there's no reason not to do this unless you don't want to.